Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Decoding Digital Week 7 live Q&A.
Good
Um,
afternoon.
here with Fergal again. I'm Sohel from Symphony 3. Hopefully, we're coming to the end. You found the course so far engaging and you've learned a bit. And this is the last week really on the topic, Fergal. Next week we'll be
Yeah,
doing more of a
that's right.
recap.
The people have been coming in for 7 weeks now, so this is week 7 of 8. Next week we'll change the view. We've been copying a little bit of slagging for our very plain background. So next week we'll be coming to you from Torquay. So we'll have a view of the Great Ocean Road in the background.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So, as usual, before we get started, do send us in your questions via Twitter on Digital Week or any other of the social media channels. We also, if you have questions that you'd like to email us, please do email at decodingdigital@symphony3.com. All of the programs are recorded, so for those of you that have missed the previous webinars or hangouts, they are on the Business Victoria's website for you to access. Yeah, so we get started, Fergal. I'll let you take it from here and let's get started.
Yeah, well, on Wednesday we covered, we talked about customer engagement, sharing content that goes viral, and then we talked a bit about co-creation. So I want to come back to those topics over the next half an hour or so. Thought it was worthwhile throwing up another couple of books that people might be interested in that might give people a few ideas. First one is a book called Net Smart by a professor in Stanford called Howard Rheingold. This is all about using social media in a mindful way. So, it talks about how easy it is to get caught up with social media, spending all your days looking at, laughing cats, etc. It's a bit of a wordy book, but there are some really good tips in there about creating dashboards to filter information. Talks about a lot of the different tools that are out there that can help you find information, collate and curate information. So NetSmart by Howard Rheingold is that one. Another older book is by David Meerman Scott, who I like this. This is called The New Rules of Marketing and PR. Again, it's quite an old book, but brings a lot of our learnings from, I guess, old school traditional PR and marketing into the online world, and some really great examples in there. So, we're talking about content. We want you guys to think of ways of creating good content. We've given you some. We've talked endlessly about lists and how-to articles. This book has plenty of case studies as well that'll be of interest to you. Two more. I'll keep going.
Sounds interesting.
I thought you read all these.
Yeah, no, you have told me about them. I'm still getting through the books as well.
This is one by Brian Solis, who's a pretty well-known guy in the digital and the social arena. He presented recently in Melbourne at a social media conference, and I thought he was excellent. But he's also has had a couple of books out. The first one was called Engage. This is his more recent book, which I think was 2012, 2013. And again, it's quite a visual book. But again, some ideas in there for the digital businesses and people who are trying to go digital who might be listening here. He talks about zero moment of truth, which I think was one of the articles we talked about in one of the previous weeks, which is a Google ebook. And he does it in a very visual way. So again, I think this will help people think about how they can make their businesses more digital in how they operate.
Sounds like a couple of good books in there.
Yeah, I've got one more.
One more?
Look, Clay Shirky is another guy, professor out of New York, and all the Americans today. And he had an earlier book called Here Comes Everybody that was a pretty seminal book on social media back a few years ago. This is his second one called Cognitive Surplus, and this actually touches on a lot of what we discussed on Wednesday. So it talks about co-creation of content, both in the business sense and in the community sense. So he gives some examples in there of a tool called Ushahidi, which was used in Kenya and has been used around the world for disasters, where people can, if they see things happening in a disaster, they can send in requests, they can take photographs, etc., and help, the emergency services deal with that. So there's some of the ideas he has in there. I guess the central tenet of this book is that, we used to be just consumers of media in recent times. We watched TV, we listened to the radio. social media turns that on its head. It allows us to not only consume media but create media. It ties in with our 5 types of communication. So
Yes.
you actually consume and create media now, and he talks about the dynamics of that and what he thinks it means for society, for business, and for communities. So again, well worth the read. It's probably pretty well known to people, some people, but there are four books that if you've got a bit of time in your hands, well worth reading in this space.
Yeah, I'm sure they sound very interesting, and sounds like there's some good reads in there. Just want to say, you did mention that some of these books are over 2012, 2013, and just wanted to ask, a lot of the concepts and theories in this book last for a longer time, or
I believe so. I think we're all always, I guess, following newfangled things. There's always that exuberance with new models. But I think these models take a few years to develop, and I think you don't necessarily want to be the pioneer. You want to be the second wave.
okay,
Let your competitors maybe try out the really cutting edge stuff, the bleeding edge stuff, and you watch carefully, see what works, and then apply it back to your business.
Yeah, we take the same approach in SEO as well. See what the competitors are doing and learn from them and improve.
That's right. I think the other thing is there are a few other books. There's a book by a guy called Bruce Clay, who you like from an SEO perspective.
Yes, yes.
I've got it as an ebook. I couldn't show it to you here, and I can't think of the name of it, but we'll put that out for people again on social media afterwards. We'll put it out on Twitter. But quite a good book on content marketing.
Yeah, definitely. He's moved. So the first book I read of his was more towards the technical and building links back to on SEO, where to get links from. Now it's moved more towards content. So that's, I think, his newer book that you're talking about. So when I started SEO maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, I did learn a lot from him and learned a lot of the technical and linking. But I've seen the move and the progress towards content and creating good shareable content that's relevant to your business.
Yeah, so we'll make that available to people. Now I want to jump on again just to keep on the theme of content. So we have touched on share this.
Yes.
I'm not sure we've actually shown people in what it is. We've shown them a bit on the front end, but you might jump in and if we share the screen, you might be able to show people how it works.
Yeah, sure, that would be good.
So hopefully people can see our screen.
I believe so. Everyone can see the screen. So this is Share This. It's called sharethis.com. I've already signed in with our account, but it's quite easy to create an account. Just an email address. It's free to use. I do believe that they might sell in the forward, but as basic sharing tools to get started on your website, it's quite simple. So I'll take you through a couple of things. The first thing is to get share buttons on your website. So what are share buttons? They're the simple buttons, simply like this, that if you click on, they're easy to share on social media. So you don't have to copy, paste, or the link and then go to your LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter and share it there. You can do a one-click, and if you're signed in, which most of you would be using the same computer, it's easy to share content, and that's why if you see on some of the bigger sites like Mashable and so forth, there'll be a lot of shares. It's probably people just clicking through these buttons.
Yes.
But what you can do to get these buttons are quite easy to get on your website. So click on Get Sharing, and then it'll ask you to choose what sort of platform you are. You may not be sure, so you can just use website if you're not sure whether you're running a WordPress blog or Drupal or Joomla. I've mentioned a few over there. We just stick with the website because it gives a universal sort of code that we can put, and then we just move to the next. Then I can choose where I actually want the buttons to go. You want normal buttons, you want it at the bottom of your page, you want it on the side, how we showed earlier, you want the count. So sometimes, when you're getting started, you may not want to show the count of shares to get started.
Yes.
I think, Fergal, we did have this conversation that, it is good to show as well, for people to know which content is more engaging. And
just an aside there, Sahal. So these are widgets. We talked about widgets in a couple of previous Hangouts. So these are a great example of what a widget looks
Exactly,
like and how you can configure
exactly.
widgets.
Exactly. So this is what a widget would be. We take the code at the end. So let's say I like the normal, I prefer these ones, the ones with
Yeah.
the numbers. So I've chosen that style and I just click next. Now, when I click next, they give me the last option. So they give me a preview of how it's going to look, as you can see. Um, and if you like it, just click on get the code. So that's your widget code that you
Yeah.
take and paste onto your website. But if you feel that okay, your business is not on Pinterest, or
Yeah.
you're not yet on Facebook, you may want to remove or add them. So it's as simple as dragging and removing or clicking the X, and there are a lot of other plugins as well that you can
Right.
go through.
Yeah. So if people want to see this, they'll see it on our website. They might have thought, oh, we'd put really fancy code together somehow, but no, unfortunately we hadn't. We just grabbed the
Yeah,
code
it
from
was
here.
it was quick and easy job to do.
That's the important thing.
And that's important, and it's quite easy to build. If you are on WordPress or other sites, they give you straight plugins as well. But I found this quite useful. So just copy paste that. It clearly tells you, put this where it has to be. You could even get your website developer to help. It should not take him more than a few minutes to do. And you just copy paste it, and you put the code and you get it. So what happens next after you've put all of that is, being part of the account, you get what we call as, some analytics, which is quite important in terms of which content is being shared more. So, there's a bit more details over here in terms of hi. So I'm just going to do last month, for example, in May on our website, see how things. You can see that, there's a couple of days where there was, more shares over here, seeing which content. And then I can scroll down and see which content was more shareable. So as you can see, these are probably the latest blogs on the website, and that's why they seem to get more shares. And it also tells you some keywords where they, what they'd be found for. So you get some good information in there, seeing what's happening and, where the shares are coming from. So as you can see, it's picking up. LinkedIn is doing much better. Twitter is doing pretty well.
And quite interestingly, LinkedIn traditionally has done probably the best for us, but since we've started running the Decoding Digital webinars, a lot of our users, or there's more users obviously in this demographic that are using Twitter than LinkedIn, I suspect.
Yes. So that's the thing. It tells you, you can create content based on that and get a good understanding. And that's really about it. There's a lot more you can do, but that's really what you really to the extent of. And
I think for small businesses, this is probably more than enough to get started. This will really do what you needed to do.
That should be good enough. So we'll share the link as well, but it's just sharethis.com. And there are other tools as well. I just want to mention that this is not the only tool. There are other ones out there that have a similar process. Shareaholic is one more. Add This is another one that's quite popular. So those two are competitors as well, and they're quite easy to add as well.
Great.
Thanks.
So let's jump back. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea on content. We've talked through the books. We've talked about Share This. Another couple of ideas for generating good content and getting people to share content. I want to jump in now, and I did show you the other day, Ryan and myself, the user voice, and we set up a user voice platform to look for ideas. I'm not sure we've had a great deal of engagement, but we have had one or two, so I want to show that to people who maybe didn't have the benefit of joining us the last day. So this was the platform. Again, we talked about co-creation. So you can use a platform like this. This is user voice, but there's many other ones out there. If you're trying to gather ideas from your clients about new products, new services. In this case, we put in 3 ideas. We haven't had anyone put in any ideas, but we've certainly had people come in and vote. And it's pretty easy to get in and vote, as people would have seen. So what I might do, Sahal, is get you to sign in, because I'm already signed in.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So just to show people. So
I'll just do that very quickly.
So a couple of ways of signing in for people, just while Sahal's doing it. You can sign in with your with a new email address, or you can sign in with your
put the name in there. Sign up.
So Sohal's signed in very, very easily. If he wants to post an idea, very easy for him. He can post his idea in here. Oops, tell me about share this.
Yes.
He can post it as a new idea. He can give it. You put it in maybe
Social
under
media tools.
Yeah, let's put it in under social media tools. You can put a comment or whatever in here. And he can attach his own votes to it. So in this case, the idea has been processed and will appear shortly. And Sohal's still got 12 votes left, so he might go down and he might say, right, I'm going to go back and look at some of the other ideas that are out there.
Sorry, just to point out, interesting to see that some of the sharing tools were on that page as well for people to
Right,
click,
yeah, I missed that.
to click through as well. Just pick that one up just at the bottom.
So there you go. There's a widget there with the sharing tools. But Sohal can get in and he can, I've put up a couple of ideas. He goes, well, Fergal usually puts up some great ideas. I think I'll actually give this a vote. I'll give it 3 votes. And it'll bubble to the top.
Okay.
Now, importantly in here, there is an analytics tool based in here for people as well. So I know that we've got a couple of votes over the weekend or over the last couple of days. So I'll go in and see what people have been posting. You can see I click on admin console there. And we can see we've got 4 active ideas. I've had 20 people come in over the time. And I can see that Wendy has been in and she's given some votes for a few different things. Yes. So thanks, Wendy. Yeah. So again, it gives us an idea. If we know our customers pretty well, we can then look at the different, what different types of customers are saying about things.
Could you even ask them questions about new products or new services, or is that the way that you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you would put it up for products, you would put it up for services, and we gave some examples the other day of people doing it. Dell have done it very successfully, and Starbucks, obviously 2 of the really big companies that do it, and they've got more customers. I guess they can collect more data.
Yes.
Funnily enough, I think it was just released today. Business Victoria, or the Victorian State Government, have released a similar co-creation platform to gather some ideas on shaping the Victorian digital economy. So I'll show you this very quickly again. Hopefully people can see that. So if I want to log in here, I can register. In fact, I've already registered, so I'll go through it pretty quickly for the benefit of people watching. If I can remember my password. And again, this works in a very similar way to the user voice platform. This is built on a solution by a local company, Australian company called Bang the Table, called Engagement HQ. Okay. And again, it's available for businesses. A lot of government organisations use it as well. So what we can see is there's a number of different strategy themes here that may interest us. In our particular case, we might be interested in digital innovation and entrepreneurship. I can get in here and I can see what people are talking about. You can see there's a forum. So there's something there for digital startups. This interests me, so I'll pop in and see. Again, we've got a couple of widgets going.
Yes.
And we can see there's a comment in here. What mentoring advice, expertise would you need to get your business started, and how would you like to access these resources? We can see that Megan Ayema has got back with her thoughts. I may want to add something to this as well, which I can do here pretty easily. So this is a more moderated forum. So you can choose to make your platform as open or as closed as you like.
To moderate and
that's
for
right.
valid sort of responses that come through.
So I believe you should have more programs like the current Decoding digital program. I can decide to get notified when a reply is posted, and I can submit it in there.
So follow that conversation as it goes through.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can keep up to date with it. So, yeah, that's a really simple way to use this tool. I think it's really important. We are all here to learn about digital. We're being asked for our say. So I would encourage anybody who's looking at this, who's tuning in today, to get on there and put your thoughts and your ideas in there. And hopefully I've shown you it's not that difficult to do. So very, very, very easy to do, really. And I think I've got difficulty in finding staff. So some of the same issues are popping up here that we've talked about in the recent weeks. This hasn't got voting as such, but it's got agree and disagree.
Yeah.
So in this case, I think a number of business environmental factors during the past 10 years have contributed to the difficulty in finding directly hiring knowledgeable and experienced ICT staff. I won't read all of this, but I kind of agree with that. So I'll just click that agree button there, and obviously that will be registered.
Yes. So it's a matter of getting feedback, getting involved, and joining the conversation online.
And I think it's important to say to people, don't fear these tools. They're really quite easy to. They really are quite easy to use. So that's a little bit about co-creation. I should note that the digital, that last platform you showed you, there's a hashtag called hashtag Digital Economy Vic, so if you want to post any comments on that and you want to share that information with people, it's available on Twitter. So join the conversation. I'm going to jump back into tools. It's all about tools today. I don't think we've had any questions come through. Have we, Sahal? Before we jump in.
No questions come through as yet. It seems like you did answer a lot of them over the webinar that day.
Great.
So
that's what we'll do, is we might jump in. I'll get you to show us Facebook Insights, and then if we've got a couple of minutes at the end, I'll jump in and look at Twitter Save Search.
Yeah, that would be a good view. So again, it's coming back to this fact of analytics. How Share This had analytics as well.
Yeah.
That's more about the sharing tools and how the tools are, what different platforms they're being shared on.
Yeah.
Facebook gives something, I wouldn't say similar, but it actually does give you analytics as well. So click back on.
You might want to go out to home.
Back there. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a new page. Again, the new page layout of Facebook. So yeah. I think they've changed it. They keep updating it quite often.
I think that's important to state. Every time we get in here, it's changed, and we go, "Oh my God, I've got to show this to people."
Yeah.
I can't find. But look, generally, it's pretty intuitive, and you can find your way around.
Yes.
It's about finding the insights that you want. So in terms of our page, so we don't get a huge. Facebook isn't one of our main channels, but we do tend to look at one or two areas in the insights. So it might get you just to show that too.
Yeah, sure, that would be good. So on the top over here, you'd have an Insights tab that you need to click on. Once you go into Insights, do remember, if you are starting off a page, I think Insights starts only after 30 likes on your page. So do keep that in mind, that you have to have a few likes before you get any insights. So when you're going through your page, the first page you land on is an overview. So it tells you about your page likes, your reach, and what we call as reach is who's seen it, and engagement is people maybe they clicked on it, like they liked it, or they shared it, or they commented on it.
Yeah.
So that's just a basic overview. What I find, what we find, or I find more useful are the posts, to know what sort of content people are like and are engaging with. And if I scroll down to the post, I can see when the post was published, so what time is a good idea to see what's happening as well. Over here it tells me what type of post it was, so you could upload a photo, or you could share a link, or type a status.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of different things.
And you'll notice trends over time. You'll notice which types are getting the most traffic and most engagement, most reach, etc.
Yes, yeah. So exactly what sort of content people like to click on and learn about and read about. And there's also a targeting option here. So this means when you actually put in that post, you can target your post to a specific group of users of people who have liked it, and then it shows that option. So as you can see, there's some normal reach is quite low, so that brings us back to, you know, how many of your posts actually get seen by your fans who like the page. Whereas a post which we've boosted over here has got, you know,
we've run an ad, boosted, but we've run an ad on it.
So that's an ad really. You can see there's a bit more engagement measures over there. So as we scroll down, you know, obviously the one that, you know, has an ad, you can see that there are a lot more times. So as you said, you know, it's good to use a bit of Facebook advertising to get your post out there if you do want to.
And I should add here that some of those, if you look at the results, maybe on one of those, you know, we've got 5,500 people reached there.
Yes.
The cost to us was $20 in that case.
Yeah.
So for $5, $10, $15, you can end up reaching, you know, thousands of people.
Yes, and it's also good. I've noticed that, you know, you could use reach and all when you have an offer to place as well.
Yep.
You know, suppose you're offering a discount on your products, or it could be that, you know, you're offering a free consultation.
Yep.
Something that you really want people to. Or you could boost all posts, you know, if you had the budget for that.
Look, increasingly, I think you need to boost a large number of your posts,
yes.
in my view. I'll jump in. One of the things we should look at, and we might do this next week, is the ads manager. So how do you build your audience?
Yes.
We've obviously shown how important advertising is here. There is the ads manager section in Facebook, which is here. And that will give you, you know, as you can see the amount of money that we've been spending. You can see the reach we're getting. So they're the stats of the ads that we've run. We don't do all that many, but we have done a few. Very easy to create an ad.
Yeah.
Click on the create ad button.
Just getting to that point, Facebook quite guides you through creating an ad as well.
That's right. So, you know, you can get increase engagement, likes, clicks to website. We like clicks to website. Because we were trying to get people onto our website, but a lot of people may be trying to, you know, improve the number of likes on their page.
Yes.
So you can go through
Dr. Fergal Coleman. Some test pages in there.
A couple of test pages in there. Choose your images. It'll pull in some of the images for us. But the probably thing I want to show people with 3 minutes left to go is this area in here where we can choose our audience.
Yes.
So we can be very defined in what we send out to people. We can do it around age groups, if we like. We can obviously do it around gender, and on it goes. And what Facebook will do is you're filling out this and you're getting down to more detail based on interests and behaviors. You'll see the number of people that you can potentially reach going down.
And just like to add in there, for local businesses, they can target it based on their suburbs or that as well.
Yeah,
so,
bear in mind that not everyone puts their suburb in. So if someone's living in Docklands here, where we are, they may put in Melbourne.
Yes.
So you're probably better off looking at cities.
Yes.
The other thing I would say is don't worry about that broad audience necessarily. I think you're better off being more defined and reaching a lesser audience, but with a message that's more targeted to them.
Agreed.
That would be my advice. Finally, I'll jump in and show you Twitter. I had a bit of an issue trying to show this on Wednesday with my keyboard playing up, but very easy to do. So as I said, you'll have your saved searches in here. So we've got the Digital Vic search going for the hashtag that we're running. So thanks to Blythewood Estate, you're viewing today, hopefully, and obviously you've been tweeting, which is great.
Yes.
But if I get into this results area, I'll see an advanced search box across here on the left-hand side. If you click on that, you can start putting in different searches for any number of things. So we might go business Victoria. In fact, in this case, I think I'll take that out of there and I'll put that in as an exact phrase. We can say written in English, but in this, we've kind of assumed it'll be in English here. We can choose people from various accounts, or we can, we can add a location. So it's not picking up mine, unfortunately, because I'm on a laptop.
Yes.
And then I can choose the dates that these tweets have gone out over, and I can also say whether it's positive, negative, question, etc. Bear in mind, this is sentiment analysis is an area of social media that I think is still pretty new. And then I can run the search. So we can see that we've picked up a few. I don't know how that's pulled in Business Victoria.
Maybe we scroll down. Does it say anything there?
So it's picked up businesses in Victoria. It's probably what I'm thinking. It's obviously picked up Business Vic there. But what I would do is I'd refine that search. I'd go back and refine the search. If I'm happy with the search that I do, I can save the search. And every time I click in here, in the future, it'll bring up my saved searches. So I'll save that one out there just for the purpose of showing this to people.
It's quite a powerful tool if you're looking for similar sort of customers or what they're talking about.
Now, bear in mind that we use Sprout Social,
yes.
Where we do that and we've shown that to people, but it gives you an idea. So we're just about out of time, Sahal. I guess what I'd be encouraging people to do is to get back in on Wednesday. We've got our last session on Wednesday. Please get in and use that user voice, decodingdigital.uservoice.com, and send us some of your ideas. We'll do a bit of a summary of the last 7 weeks next Wednesday, and then we'll have a final Google Hangout. So next week is your opportunity to ask all the questions that we haven't managed to answer. So we'd encourage you to post your questions in, tweet them in, send us an email. We don't really mind.
Yeah.
You can even pick up the phone and ask us, and we've got an hour to go through various things.
Happy to answer questions. I'm sure over the 7 weeks you might have thought of a few more. Do send it across to us.
Great. On that note, we'll stop it there. So thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.